A very good morning to you on Friday the 5th of February, yes. I hope you've had a good week at home. We certainly have here in school. And of course it has been Mental Health Awareness Week, and thank you to Mrs Copeland particularly, but others as well, for providing some of the resources we've shared with students during tutor time. And of course, as a little nice end to the week, we've granted people early finish, both at home and in school, at 1 o'clock today, and I know that's gone down very well. I think we've learnt, haven't we, or we knew anyway, that little gestures during this difficult time make enormous difference, whether it be own closed day now on a Friday in school, whether it be waffles and whatever, toast for staff at break time on a Friday, whether it be early finish like this. Those little tweaks to what we are doing make a huge difference. And as always, our parent body are so good at getting in touch and saying thank you. So thank you to all of those of you who have been in touch this week to say you appreciate on many levels what we are doing. And we do try, and we'll keep trying. I think, generally speaking, in a normal school day, year, whatever, we cater very well for the pastoral needs and the mental health needs and wellbeing needs of our young people and staff, for that matter. And I think we've pretty much kept that going during these challenging times of all three lockdowns. It is quite clear to me that this third lockdown, people are struggling more. I know some people at home, pupil-wise, I'm talking now, some are struggling with what we're doing and remote learning. Some are absolutely flying, I have to say. As always, it's a case of getting that balance. But in the main, I think we're getting it just about right. But we have the systems in place to support young people and our colleagues and parents who may be struggling a bit more. So as I always say, do not hesitate to get in touch if you at home or your young people are struggling with what we're going through currently, because it's a challenge for us all. So yes, let's not forget that Mental Health Week it is, but that is always high on our list of priorities. So let's make sure we keep communicating and share with us any concerns you may be having. Okay, but if you are a young person and you are struggling at home, please do get in touch. I very firmly believe that the schoolwork, even remote learning and its challenges, is not the major cause of one's low mood or mental health issues at home. The whole scenario, isn't it, is challenging. I think the biggest factor for young people is not seeing their friends, the lack of social interaction. What we don't want, of course, is a school to exacerbate matters by piling on the pressure academically. And we had parents get in touch and saying, I give my child a day off. They're not feeling up to it, they're very emotional. That's fine. If that would happen in the normal course of events, wouldn't it? So please, yes, let's work together to carry on getting through this. And of course, there is light at the end of the tunnel. In a week where we were saddened by the loss of Captain Sir Tom after his sterling efforts last summer, and set an example to us all. He will be fondly remembered for many years, no doubt, and as an icon of this pandemic period, but also the good news of hitting the 10 million mark in the vaccinations. And when you read that after this first tranche of injections, the top 9 categories of vaccinations, that covers 99% of potential fatalities, obviously with those high-risk groups. So I'm not too far off that mark, are we? So it's all going kind of pretty well on the vaccination front, and that's got to give us some hope, providing we stay safe and variants don't continue to occur to the same extent. Okay, so yeah, good week in school. Thank you again to those staff who submitted work. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's been some MFL work submitted. There's been superb work from Mrs. Sheehan and her year 10 students about Macbeth. A little video I think is going to be on the website as well. Mr. Tomlinson and his year 7P work, I think that will also be on the website. Just mentioning Mr. Tomlinson, I think I started something last week by saying hello to Miss Hitchens' mum, to Helen down there in Norfolk. Mr. Tomlinson. Well, my dad watches your bulletin every week as well, so hello to Mr. T, Senior, Mr. Tomlinson's father over there in Warrington. But we won't do weekly requests, but I shout out every now and again. Okay. Thank you, parents, last night for attendance at Year 10 Parents' Evening. I think we're all pretty made up, aren't we, with the effectiveness and slickness and convenience of School Cloud. I think the initial few weeks of technical issues at their end has been worked through now, and certainly something that we will consider extending beyond lockdown for future parents' evenings and you queuing in school, and I said those sharp elbows get a place in the queue to see a certain teacher. So thank you for that, and lots of nice emails this morning about how well that went. In terms of thanking people as well, I've got to say a big thank you to all our colleagues, of course, but the TAs in particular, our teaching assistants who have manned the rooms in school. We have 8 rooms open for those in school at the moment, and the TAs have been there relentlessly day in, day out for the last 5 weeks. And building relationships with young people again, of course, but it's been challenging. For them. So a big shout out to all our wonderful TA team, supported by the likes of SLT and Mrs Norbury and others. The PMs, of course, are in school as well. So thank you to the TAs. I've got a nice email in front of me here. As part of our Year 9 options process that's ongoing. And of course, after Year 10 parents' evening last night, it's Year 9 next week, and the final one, Year 7 after half term. And to the Year 7 parent who emailed me this morning saying what a disaster parents it was last night. She sat there in front of a screen for several hours, and a blank screen, just a grey box. And it turns out that she was 3 weeks early. She was there for Year 7 parents' evening, which is after half term, not Year 10. So not a technical issue as such, but that gave me a bit of a wry smile this morning when I read that. But I hope the parent in question has realised the error of their ways and will join us again in 3 weeks' time for Year 7. Okay, but as I was saying, an email in front of me now from a parent as well. The Q&A sessions which head of departments have done about their subjects, I suppose a bit of touting for business in some ways, but I think this says it all about my colleagues at Wellington. It mentions somebody, but it could apply to very many, I think. I just wanted to say how impressed I've been with the Q&A sessions that heads of department delivered and in such challenging circumstances. They have been useful, but most importantly, the passion the staff have for the subject has really shone through. I would really like to take GCSE Geography and Sociology. I have to say the most impressive of all was Miss Hennessy, a former student here who's now head of Geography. My daughter has had Miss Hennessy for Geography for this year and last, and has consistently told me what a wonderful, interesting teacher she is. I was blown away by Miss Hennessy's enthusiasm for the subject and her department tonight. Such an inspiration for the students. And that's the key, isn't it? We are here, hopefully, to inspire young people as parents and as teachers. And I'm so grateful and so privileged to work with such an inspirational bunch of professionals here at Wellington, whether on a teaching front or the support staff front. But Miss Hennessy's mentioned there in dispatches, but I would like to think that could apply to a good many of our colleagues here at Wellington. Okay. A bit of business as usual. It's great to be hearing that some of our Year 13s have had UCAS offers, university offers. Well done to them. That must be a huge sigh of relief in these uncertain times. So keep it going for those guys, and more offers no doubt will follow. I've asked Mrs Stevens and Mr Crop to keep me informed of all those. And one this morning, Orla Skellhorn on her nursing degree has been offered a place, so well done Orla, is what I heard about this morning. Okay, Mr Holt leading the careers programme in school, which is expanding and being more effective year on year, it would seem. It is Apprenticeship Week next week, National Apprenticeship Week, and lots of online things coming up for predominantly Year 11s and 13s, but 10s and 12s as well, and maybe others. So do, if it applies to you, keep an eye out for Mr Holt's postings and jump on those virtual events. And again, something which I think, rather than busing people down to the GMEX Centre, whatever it's called these days, into Manchester, I think these virtual events are working very well indeed, and it's something that will carry on post-COVID when that day might indeed be. Okay, so yeah, another great week here at Wellington. Hopefully you had one at home as well. And we are staying positive, that's the main thing, isn't it? And supporting one another. But of course, we're always thinking ahead. And in school, we've done a bit of that. National organisations are doing that. I'm delighted with the appointment of Sir Kevin Collins, who was involved with the Education Endowment Foundation. He's become the, what's it called, the recovery czar, if you like, and the post-COVID sort of catch-up, if you like, person for the government. So Kevin is a wonderful person, very passionate about that sort of thing, and hopefully will help us all ensure that the more disadvantaged in society don't become even more disadvantaged after this sorry saga of the pandemic. We have seen in schools generally a widening of the gap to a degree, and we do everything we possibly can here at Wellington to make sure that doesn't happen. And with Sir Kevin's support nationally, hopefully that will be the case. It's not just about throwing money at it, it's employing the right sort of measures, isn't it, to counter that. And on that note, we are a bit of a crossroads, aren't we? And as I said several times today, we've learned lots of things during this pandemic, lots of ways of working which we hadn't even contemplated before, and other things as well which will carry on post-COVID. But it occurs to me as well that schools have become even more important, education has become more important, and a recognition of that for most people, despite certain elements of the media. The importance of schools and schooling education has become even more sort of prevalent in recent times. From our point of view, I think it's sensible, isn't it, to consider what is our position in the local community? What are our civic responsibilities? What can we do with other organisations, other agencies to carry on the good work or expand the good work we have been doing? So, answers on a postcard. Any thoughts how we could engage with other businesses locally, public organisations, NHS, the police, fire service, GP surgeries, social workers, things like Sure Start and Home Start used to be obviously widespread. What can we do? How can we work effectively in partnership with others to help the local community beyond our school, our pupil body? So there's ideas I have there, there's ideas our governing body no doubt have, but for you at home as well, you might be in a position where you can suggest things or make a difference yourselves. So I leave you with that today. Please contemplate that and give me any thoughts you may have how we can play a role, a wider role in the local community. Okay, our civic responsibility, as I said before, it's a privileged position in a school, and I think we have scope to do even more as a high school in the local area. Okay, the weekend calls, an hour and a half until we finish for the weekend. The Six Nations rugby starts, United Everton, lots going on. Enjoy whatever you do. The sun is trying to shine now. I head home. So, by the way, I'm on the bus now. My car failed its MOT. I can't complain. The car was a gift from a friend of mine. It's 16, 17 years old. Failed its MOT. That's gone. I think there's another one on order from the wife and my family have been on that. So I'm on the bus at the moment. So 5:30 starts. Long days, but I'm enjoying the extra bit of exercise. So I'll be jumping on the bus back to Warrington sometime this afternoon. Anyway, by the by, have a good one. Stay safe and be in touch next week for the final time this half term.